Hello everyone, this is Premacharya from Dented Code. Welcome back to HTML course for Absolute Beginner Part 2. In the previous tutorial, we looked into the basic of HTML and we learned the HTML elements, and we understood that there are so many tags to create elements to create the web page, and also there are many attributes that comes along with the tags to create a web page. So from now on, in this series, we will use as much as elements and attributes to create a web page. And in this particular tutorial, we are going to look at the few elements and attributes to construct the web page. So I'm going to use VS Code to edit the code, and then the Chrome browser to load the web page. If you haven't set up your computer ready for the web development, I have created one video before. I'll put the link somewhere in the description or in the card. So just go to that video and get your computer ready before you start the writing HTML code here. Okay, so let's start. First, I want to create a folder. HTML for beginner, okay, and I want to open this folder in VS Code. Okay, I have a VS Code open, so just I'm gonna drag and drop here. Okay, so I'm going to write the code in VS Code and I will load the page in web browser here. Okay, I just want to put side by side so that easy for us to see it. Okay, I just want to make the font little bigger so that you guys can see clearly. This one as well. Okay, so there is nothing here. Okay, the first thing, let's create the website page. So click the file. I'm going to create the index.html. You can name anything you like. And in general web development, we write index.html for the entry page. So hit enter. Okay, this is the page. So this is nothing but just empty page. So this is not gonna do anything for us. The first thing we need is to tell what type of web page that would be. So are we going to write HTML5 or the other HTML4? Of course, definitely we're not going to write HTML4, but yes, in order to tell browser you are writing HTML4, you need to write open angle bracket exclamation mark and the doc type HTML. So this one will tell browser you are writing HTML5. And the first thing you need here is the HTML opening and closing. See, you can see here when I write HTML, the emmet abbreviation, it is giving us the option to complete the code snippet. So this is happening because the VS Code comes up with the emmet extension, and it will help you to write code faster. So one thing you can also confirm that is that you see here what you are currently using, what language you are currently writing. So the code editor detects my file type and then change this one, what sort of file you are coding on, and then it will give this code completion. So if you are not, like, if you don't have this set up, again, as I told you before, I'll provide the link in the description to set up how to get your computer ready for web development. And in that video I have provided how to install the VS Code, and then I have shown you how to use this one in general. Okay, instead of, okay, so this is the HTML. So inside the HTML, basically we will need two more elements, head and the body. As we learned from the if you remember in the previous slide, we did our page construction. So this is how we construct the page. Let's save the page and click the right button on the mouse and just open with live server. It will load this page here in this section. keyboard bigger. So inside head, the another elements we use is title. When you write title, let's say my web page, and when you save it, it will instantly upload the page. See, you can see here my web page here. I mean, it's coming from this title. So anything you write down here, it will display on the page. So let's okay, and there is another. I just want to show you. You can write all this one by yourself, or because we have the Emmet extension, you can simply type the exclamation mark and hit enter. It will lay out everything you need for the to start with the web page. So it will give you basic metadata. Okay, so what it's saying here is that the character set is UTF-8. So that's encoding, telling browser that we will be writing UTF-8 encoding in our document. And this viewport will later on I'll show you why it is important. When you're writing the responsive website, browser will check the viewport, and then it's saying like content is width, device width, and initial scale is 1.0. So this one, this information tells browser that we will have the web page responsive, but we need to write the responsive web page. Okay, so these are the basic metadata we have here, and as I said before, anything we write here, it will display on the page. So let's start writing some actual elements. Okay, let's start writing our web page. Actually, there is nothing now. I just clear up before. So let's write h1. H1 is a heading level 1 element. So if you want to write something like this is basic page, so it will see the font is really bold and larger. So this is one level heading. So we have up to 6. Let's do h1, and okay, this is h1 level 1. So we have up to 6 of them. You can copy this one using Alt and Shift and down arrow to copy the line. So let's make this one 2. To make it heading 3, 4, 5, and 6. Save it. See, you can see the different sizes of heading. So basically this one we will be using on the main heading of the page, and this one comes in the section heading, and this one we will learn later on. So most of the time we will be like, the mostly used headings are like up to 3 or 4. I haven't used like myself H5 and H6. I don't remember the last time I used them. Okay, so the next thing you want to learn is how to write the comment. So let's say you want to leave a note and you don't want to display on the page. So you need to find a way to comment out the line that browser should not interpret. So let's say comment. Okay, if you save it, this will also display here, but you don't want to display the comment, right? So if you want to hide the comment, you need to simply put Control and the backslash. It will comment out. So we need angle bracket, exclamation mark with double hyphen to open the tag, and close the tag with the double hyphen and the closing angle bracket. So whatever you write inside this tags will not be visible on the page. If I save this page, the comment is gone. So it can be single line or can be multi-line headings. Examples. This still doesn't work. Okay, so I'll just leave this page. Okay, here. Later on, I'll create a GitHub page and upload this code for your reference and provide the link in the description below. Okay, these are the headings. So let's move on. So let's create the paragraph. So P with the opening and closing tag, we need it, and then I am, sorry guys, I cannot type and speak. So when you save it, so when you save it, it's coming here, I'm a paragraph. So I just want to remind you guys, this web page is gonna look very ugly because we are not using CSS in this course. So this will be completely HTML only. So after the HTML course, I will create the CSS course to make the website nice and pretty. Okay, that's the, okay, let's write the comment. Paragraph, comment out, and let's go. Okay, now let's create the div. So again, you need the opening and closing tag for the div. So I am a first div on a create too. So when you write down here, I am a first div. Make it second. The reason I'm creating here is that I want to show you, see, when you create the div, it will put the content in a block. So the first one comes first and the second one will create the new line here. And the let's create this. There is another tag called span. Oops. Span and I wrap content. Okay. So I'm a span I wrap content. What I'm saying is that when you create paragraph tag and division tag, it will create the new line every time you create new one by default. But span, if you create another one, if you make this one copy, it will keep the content right after each other, so it does not break the line. And this, see, the first one is up to here and then start second one. So if in the div case, it is creating a new line, and paragraph also creates the new line, but you can see the gap here between the paragraph and div. That is from the paragraph. Paragraph keeps the some gap between the adjacent elements. In this case, like let's say if you have some content that you want to display in two different lines but still displays in one, so there is a one element, there is another tag you can use called BR. So BR is a self-closing tag. You don't need to create like another tag like with the opening and closing, because it doesn't have any content within. If you have any content inside the tags to create the element, you need opening and closing. But if you are self-closing tag, then you do not need to have the closing tag. Okay, so when you write BR will mean, BR means break the line. See, now the line is broken down to the two line. There is another self-closing tag which is called HR. HR means the horizontal line. See, that creates horizontal line from beginning to start of all page. So let's look into the links. So okay, links, when you like, you probably have, you know, when you have a web page, there are menu, and then when you click on the menu, it will take you to the another page. These are all created using a tag, and a will have an attribute. If you remember, in our first tutorial we discussed about the attribute. The attributes always goes inside the opening tag, and attributes come with the ID, attribute ID, and the name. There are limited number of attributes, we should use them. And the name, you can use anything you like. So in this case, the href telling you that where this page you want to go to. Let's say you have about us page. about us page. That means let's create another page called about.html. Inside create the HTML page and say title about us, and here, hi there, this is about me page. Save the page. Okay, so here let's save the page first. See, here it's underlining. This is the default browser behavior for a tag. It will always show you the underline and the different color than the like normally blue color. Okay, so here when you click here itself, it doesn't go anywhere, so you need to provide the path where you want to go. So in the path we have two things. One, relative path, and the another one called absolute path. In relative path, basically you'll first look at where you are. In the case of this web page we're creating, we are in the index page. So from here, if you want to go to the about us page, so where you have to go from here, since you are in the same directory, you can simply provide the page name straight away. So this is called relative path. That means that you are relating from where you are. And then let's say if you have some, okay, we'll get another example later on. So this is one of the relative paths. Okay, when you save it, now if you click the about us, now it is taking you to the about us page. See here, about us page, which was created here. So let's go back. Let's create another element called img. img element is responsible for displaying image in the web page. Let's get some image from anyway. Okay, let's get this image. So copy image address and just paste here. And there is also another attribute called alt. Let's put this is funny. This is the alternative information is shown in the browser if the page cannot load. Let's go look into our page first. See, when you save the page, now you have the Spider-Man photo. Okay, because I made the browser smaller, so it is just showing the whole image. Image is really big. Let's make it small again. So you can also use another attribute called width and height to make the small image smaller. Let's say put width equals to 200 pixel. You need to write in px for pixel, and height you can give a specific unit, or you can write auto. If you write down auto, it will keep the aspect ratio consistent. When you save it, it's making smaller. Let's say if you want to make it even smaller, you make, let's say 150. Now becoming smaller as well. Okay, so here you can see this is the relative path and this is the absolute path. That means you are telling the browser to go to the root of this web page and then go to the subdirectory and then go to the specific image in the browser. So you can give absolute path within your folder structure as well, but in web development most of the time we should be using the relative path. Okay, so now you know how to create the a tag, right? So we can wrap this image into the a tag as well. Let's create a tag and then put this image inside the a tag, and when we click on the image, when we click on this image, let's go to the page where we copy the image from. So let's copy the top URL and paste it here and save the file. Okay, now before, when we click on this one, we went to our about us page. Now if we click on image, it will take us to the source of the image page. So now, if you have realized that when you click on either of them, it is leaving this page and taking us to the new page. So in general, if you are redirecting your page within your website, you probably like to redirect on your own page. But if you want to, let's say, go to the external website, when you click the content in your page, you probably don't want to go away from your website and go to that page. So in order to avoid that case, and you want to keep your page open, and plus you want to open this new link to the new page, we can use another attribute on the a tag called target equals to provide the value of online blank. When you provide the blank target attribute, now when we click this image, the page will be open in the new tab. See, our page is still there and the new page is open here. The content going is too low, so I want to put some footer so that it stays on the top. Yeah, let's create the footer. So footer element always goes at the just before the closing body tag. Okay, so we put footer, and here I just want to give one attribute called style. So here I'll put minimum height is 300 pixel, so that we are always 300 pixel, so that we are always 300 pixel above the bottom of the web page. See, now the page has gone up. Okay, so this is another attribute. So this is how you write inline CSS for this attribute, but we are not going deep into CSS in this series. So I will be creating another CSS tutorial series after this HTML. So stay subscribed to get that notification as well. Okay, we are done that. Let's now look into the, let's move this one to here for your reference. I don't need to see this Explorer, close it. So now let's create the section. Okay, inside element you can create another element. So in this case, in this section, let's say this is the article section. So let's create article element here. So these are the semantic elements. So inside the elements, let's create h2 header of the article. Let's say how to learn coding faster. Okay, if this is the title of the article, you may want to put paragraph as a content. Okay, I just incidentally typed capital P. Just want to tell you that the HTML is not case sensitive. This one works as well. If I save this content, it works here, but in general we only type the small letter, okay, the lowercase. So how to learn code faster? Maybe learn coding faster by coding while you coding, while eating, while sleeping. More you code, the faster you learn. Do not try to ask for help if you get stuck or don't understand. There is no magic tool. Don't let anybody fool you, okay? This is just, I'm just making up, but this is true, guys. Okay, let's say, so see here, now this is how like the h2 as a title and the content is coming up. You can change the header as well, depending on depending on the type of the article you are writing. Let's say maybe make this one h3 for example. But just want to tell you one thing, that if you are writing article in the page, and stay consistent between the header, okay, I'll probably make this one S3 as well so that you guys don't get confused. Now if I save this, see, this is how it's gonna structure. So we don't need two. I just want to delete the second one. Just want to show you how to do it, that's all. Okay, the next, so this is like a basic. Now you can see that you have your basic website ready. So I know this is very ugly because we are not using any styling and CSS, but now your page is loaded and you have the content on your page. So if you want to see the, if you want to inspect the page, now you can see all of your coding right here on the browser. See, you created heading, you created head element with the meta tag and the body with all the information. So as you can see, when I hover over to the element, it will highlight here as well. Okay, that is all for this video. I don't want to get this video too long, so let's break it down to a small one so that easy for you guys to follow along. So in the next video, we will be looking at how to organize data with the list. Okay, we'll be working on the list and tables. See you next.